Terry, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Kim Childs.
And I'm Terry Schneider. And this is our Busy Burnett Real Estate and Lifestyle Podcast.
We love what we do, and we hope you enjoy our podcast.
So, Kim, today I thought we would do a fun podcast called Love It or Leave It. What do you think?
I think that sounds really fun, especially in this market.
Yeah. So my thought process on that is there a show that's out there that people, they don't like their home anymore. And so they bring in a realtor and or a designer, and they go through and she designs the house and they go look for houses with the realtor. And then when they get done, they have to decide, do they want to continue to live in their house that she just redid that fits their needs now because they told them what their needs were, or they want to go buy their new home.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that show?
I have seen it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's fun to watch because you're like, oh, what are they going to do? And it's amazing what she does to the houses.
Well, who doesn't like fix-it-up shows?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I watch them all the time, unfortunately.
Gives you ideas.
So at the end, the seller has to decide what they're going to do. So I thought that we would do that today.
Oh,
and do you ever encounter that when you're listing houses?
I mean, I do. It's so funny. We have sellers that kind of, for whatever reason, just think, oh, I kind of want to do something different, right? And sometimes they're not even sure why. Like, they love the neighborhood, they love the house, the spaces, but they're just not feeling it anymore. And, there are times where maybe the neighborhood's not working, or they need to be in Washington instead of Oregon, whatever, or the spaces aren't working. They had 2 more kids, or the grandma came and lived with them, or something like that. That's different. But this is just where, gosh, I just want something different. It happens.
Just want to have a new house in my current location, and because they like it. So in your mind, what is the difference between a refresh and a remodel?
Well, I kind of think it goes the whole gamut. So to me, I think a refresh is where you're just kind of freshening up the spaces a little bit. So an example of that might be some new flooring, new carpet, or maybe some luxury vinyl tile, that kind of thing. Maybe you are painting walls and either updating the colors, or maybe there's like holes in them for pictures or whatever. You're going to fix all that, do a little bit of drywall repair. Maybe you are putting on some new hardware, some new lighting. Lighting can make a huge difference in how a home feels.
Yeah.
To me, those things are refreshing a home. They're not really updating, and they're certainly not a remodel. But they're easy.
Right.
And it can make a home feel so different.
It can. So in the past year, though, I mean, we've gone through COVID.
Oh, yeah.
People are working from home.
Or the spaces.
So they're seeing their home a lot, and they're finding out that the spaces that they have, I mean, and it can work both ways. Their spaces aren't working because now they're teaching school from home. They're working from home. You got to have a family life, and it doesn't always do it in the bedroom.
Right.
So, but I'm assuming that there's ways that they can change that, bring an interior designer, not just adding to the house, but they can, maybe use the space differently so everyone has those places.
Yeah, and I think that's, you bring up a really good point, too, of the interior designer. It's amazing how they know their business. Like, that's what they specialize in, right? And they have so many different ideas. They have such a wealth of knowledge of spaces, how they can be used, and multi-purpose ways to use a space, and how to set that up. But also just the latest and greatest, too. So, like, if you're living in your house and it's just not feeling fresh to you, you aren't excited to go home, you're like, oh, the same old, same old. It's amazing. They can show you, because we have paradigms. We have paradigms about matchy-match colors. We have paradigms about if you put something on the left, an equal thing on the right? We're not as good at them as just kind of thinking outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, I have those. I decorate in 1s, 3s, and 5s.
Yeah.
And I can't get past that.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, there's just so many options, and we don't know all of them. And so we're really confined in our thinking. And even an example of my daughter just bought a home, and this isn't a love it or leave it kind of thing because she just bought it, but it was really needing some refreshing, and that's really what we did. But we are looking at it, and my daughter and I are looking at each other like, who's going to pick the paint? And, I am not that good at picking paint. I I just don't have that color wheel thing down. And I'm not talking matching, I'm talking palettes, whatever. Well, my daughter had picked a palette out of Pinterest that she loved. And we brought Beth, our stager, over. And I told Caitlin, you're paying her for her time. She would have done it for free. But, you know, it's her business. And her suggestions were amazing and really made the home feel so much more today than what either of us would have chosen.
Well, my house is 2 years old right now, and not even 2 years old, and I'm already tired of the palette. So I had Beth come over. We have feature walls, which is great, and I love my feature walls. It's a color I would never have gone with, and now I'm ready to have my cabinets painted because I don't
Going that next step.
Yeah,
Refreshing.
So I am totally refreshing because I spend a lot of time there now.
Right.
I mean, even though my office is upstairs, I come down to get lunch, whatever, but I'm at home a lot when I'm not working out on the road or in the office. And so I am doing the same thing. We're looking at the cabinets. We're going to be changing out some of the light fixtures because we want it to say, this is us and not the builder.
Right.
Because it's a new construction.
Right.
Trying to get our personality in there. And you can't always just do it with furniture.
No, I understand what you're saying. And that's, I mean, a great idea. And so it's amazing how many different paint colors there are. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, yeah. I mean, how many whites are there?
Exactly. White is not just white. You know, it has
No.
blue, it has yellow, it has pink, it has all these different colors that come into it. So really what direction to go really does make a difference in how the home shows. And I think it's funny too, because I remember you telling me just a few months ago that you guys were honestly kind of halfway thinking about selling your home and doing something different. And so it sounds like you've kind of decided the love it or leave it, you're going to love it and kind of pump it up a little bit to be your own.
Yeah. Well, we'll bring Beth in to help us with the cabinets because, what are the trends? I know we're going to go to the Street of Dreams, but, I'm thinking one color up here, one color down here, and an island a different color, or do they do, so
Right.
I just want to make it look, today.
Oh, I understand.
And it's a brand new home, and I still
And I still want to
I still want to change it. It's going to be my personality.
It kind of reminds me of the home that we owned for 14 years there in Lake Oswego, and we had been in there, I don't even know, let's say 8, right? And I had painted when we got in, but I did like some red and some faux painting and stuff, and that had kind of gone out with whatever year it was, right?
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
And I was like, oh, this isn't any good. And so I wanted to update. And so I had Beth come over and make recommendations for paint colors and all of that. And we did more, too. We painted the cabinets, and we kind of antiqued them. We did just a whole bunch of stuff. And after we did it, and we still lived there like another 4 or 5 years before we sold it, it was funny. My husband was saying, Kim, I'm so glad we did this and stayed to enjoy it. And yet, when we sell it, it's not so far gone. It's not been 10 years, right?
Right.
Like, this is way old news. It still looked pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So
do you think people forget to go to an interior designer? Maybe they don't think about doing that, or they think maybe it's expensive to have a designer come into their home and help them, give them those options.
yeah, I do believe you're exactly right. I mean, I think there are a lot of people, and I think it's great to be thrifty and save money and, mind your P's and Q's. But how many times, Terry, have we gone into homes and they say they're updated, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, they spent money on all the wrong paint.
Yeah.
Maybe the cabinets did get painted, but it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The granite choice doesn't really match with everything else. I mean, so the choices that you make are huge. And when you hire someone who really knows the business and can help you with that, and they will follow what you want.
Right.
So like with my daughter, she showed her a color palette and kind of some examples of where she was trying to go with it. And then she got right on board with that. So it wasn't like she was trying to do her own thing. She was trying to follow what Caitlin wanted, but,
Right.
within the parameters that she had. And it makes a huge difference. Whereas people just start doing stuff and it comes out very jumbled.
Well, have you ever gone into a house? So you're working with a client, a seller most likely, and you've made all these suggestions. We brought Beth in, make these suggestions, change out the lights, paint the walls, put some carpet in, stage it, and then the sellers are going, "Oh my gosh, I so love my house. I don't want to sell it anymore."
I have had that. I'm not sure how many people have actually decided not to sell it, but some people, what they do is then when they buy the new house that they want, because maybe they do need that extra bedroom or 2 or whatever it is, then they sometimes will use someone to help them make it their own because they see the benefit.
Yeah. help make those decisions that are lasting for a while.
I mean, I just did that myself. We had this big sectional in our house, and it was off-white, and I knew it wasn't going to last very long. Well, it was a new house, and it lasted 5 years before we went, oh, this is not good. And then these other chairs, I don't know, they just weren't, they were kind of a tan color, right? And I mean, I'm looking at upholstery to replace, and I'm looking at tans and browns and beiges, this kind of thing. And I'm not excited about it at all. So I decided, okay, I'm going to have Beth out here. And I have her come out, and we ended up doing like a steel gray, it has a little bit of blue in it, kind of sectional. And it's a really big sectional. It's gorgeous. And then the 2 armchairs are in an orange. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But I never would have done that on my own.
Well, how many times have you gone into a house that's everything's brown?
Oh, my gosh. It's so common.
It's all brown.
I know, brown leather. That's the worst. It's lovely for sitting in, and it's very serviceable.
Yeah.
But it's so brown.
It's very brown, and you have to cute it up.
Definitely. How do you do that? What do you do when you have...
I just put a bunch of white pillows, white and cream-colored pillows, and maybe some gray.
And just bring the eye around with that.
Yeah, because...
And let the couches, shift into the background.
Yeah, so that you don't notice them.
We have our techniques.
Yes. So, well, I'll have to remember that because we're also looking at new furniture. Bill's been talking about that too.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, as long as we're not going brown.
Yeah, I know. A little bit of brown is fine, but it shouldn't be everywhere, and but what's so interesting, this is the other thing about hiring an interior decorator, which this isn't really to be about that, but they know the latest and greatest. They're a paradigm breaker, right? So we have these paradigms like matchy match, brown, 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 whatever it is. And they know how to group things and how to have a steel blue, steel gray couch sectional with orange chairs and how to pull that together so the room feels really cohesive.
Right.
And we don't really know how.
Right. Well, we still want you guys to list it, but we also want you to love your new house. So hire the interior designer.
It's funny. I've had a lot of, have you had this, Terry? I've had a lot of listings where they've called me 3 and some, years ahead of time. They're like, okay, we're going to list this at some point, but I want to do some updating over time, like kind of within the framework of my income and all of that. Right. And we kind of lay out a plan of what they're going to do. And this way, like they've told me when we do list, they got to enjoy it along the way.
Right. Well, and you should. If you live in the house, you should enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just updating it to move out.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I really agree with that. I really do.
Yeah. Well, this was a fun topic.
I know. It is. It is really fun. And I think it's just a testament to what a little refreshing, if you just want to do a little bit, updating if you want to do a little more, and then remodel, which is like tearing out cabinets and, going down to bare studs and redoing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It sounds so onerous, and yet... Right? In fact, it's funny. I just thought of another story I want to tell you. I had a client, and I helped them buy this home in the Old Street of Dreams neighborhood, Merrillhurst, there in Lake Oswego. And it was a lovely home, and they paid pretty good dollars for it 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know now. And they were thinking about selling, but they were also thinking about updating. And so we went through and we looked, and at this time we looked at what the market was, and then their home hadn't appreciated a lot. A little bit, but not a lot. And so to get what they wanted, they would have had to spend probably another couple $100,000, right? To get, all the finishes and everything that they wanted. And they decided to love it. And they actually, hired a general contractor and had plans made up for all these things they wanted done. And they moved out for almost a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it'll be done like this fall. And I'm excited to see it. So it does happen. And they just decided they love the neighborhood. They love the spaces, right? They love everything about it. It has this really neat 2-story entryway. And they're just fixing it up. Good for them.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, because if you can do that, it's so much easier, I think, than looking for a house.
Oh, my gosh.
Packing your stuff up, moving, and especially if you love the neighborhood. Yeah. And that's a great neighborhood.
It is a great neighborhood. So they're really happy there. And I'm just really excited to see how it's going to turn out.
Good.
Yeah.
So what are your plans coming up? Anything fun and exciting happening in your world?
We don't have anything crazily fun, but Thursday night, my husband plays racquetball on Tuesdays and Thursdays with some guys. We're having the guys and their wives over for a barbecue.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. And then
Get
Friday,
to use that backyard
we're
of yours.
going to use our backyard, our COVID-19 backyard, which we love. We absolutely love it. We have used it so much. And then on Friday, I'm hoping to get my son and daughter-in-law and 2 granddaughters and hopefully my daughter over for a barbecue back there.
Fun.
And I just love spending time with them and the kids, yes, but also my kids, right? So it's going to be really fun. What are you up to?
I am headed out this week to go to a wedding in Las Vegas.
Awesome.
Because I don't have enough heat here. I want to get more heat there.
Well, it'll be fun. Weddings are so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, when you feel really good about the people getting married, right?
Yeah, this is a good one. So
Oh, good.
We're excited for them.
Awesome. That's
So, yeah.
wonderful. Have fun.
Yeah, thanks.
And Darcy and I'll be here to back you up.
Thanks. That's the beauty of a team.
It is. Yep.
So, well, thanks again, and I'm sure we'll come up with some more fun topics again.
I know we will.
Okay, have a great day.
You too.
The Kim and Terry team is made up of Kim, Terry, Darcy, and Beth. Together, they have over 35 years of collective experience in residential real estate. Between them, they've had previous careers in accounting and finance, customer service, sales, and interior design. And some of them did this while being moms. They share a broad background and perspective on real estate, business, and life. They love what they do for a living and the people they get to do it with. If you would like to contact them, they can be reached at busyburnett.com. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.